Problem number 13. Which equation will generate the following table? You have a set of x values and a set of y and the corresponding y values. The only way to be able to figure this out, or one of the ways to figure this out, is to plug in the x and the y into each equation and see which one it fits. And you can start with any of those set of points. You can start with -2 and -5, or 0, -3, or 1, -2. I'm just going to start with the first one. I'm going to test letter A. And it's nice for you to be able to label it, because if you make one mistake, you can always go back. Y is equal to -2, x minus 5. Instead of the y, I'm going to plug in a -5. Instead of the x, I'm going to plug in a -2. So we have -5 is equal to, gives me +4 minus 5. Is -5 equal to -1? No. They're not equal to each other. Letter B. So A is not the answer. Y is equal to -2, x minus 3. Y is equal to -2. Instead of the y, I'm going to plug in a -5. Instead of the x, I'm going to plug in a -2, then -3. -5 is equal to 4 minus 3. Is -5 is equal to 1? No. So B is not the answer. Let me try C here. We have y is equal to x minus 5. Instead of the y, I'm going to plug in a -5. Instead of the x, I'm going to plug in a -2. We have -5. Is -5 equal to -7? No. Let me try letter D. I'm going to do it right here on the side. Notice that it is nice to be able to label it, because if this one's also incorrect, you know that you made a small mistake, you can always go back. Letter D, y is equal to x minus 3. Instead of the y, I'm going to plug in a -5. Instead of the x, I'm going to plug in a -2. Is -5 equal to -5? Yes. So your answer is D. Problem number 14. Which of the following graphs is narrower than this one? Highlight the keyword narrow. Now remember, I'm not concerned where the location of the graph is, where the H and the K will tell you the location. I'm going to cross that out. I'm only concerned where there is wider or narrow. I'm going to go and make a little graph here, as we did in class. It's a very quick process. I'm going to place my X and my Y axis. Then with my pencil, I'm just going to go, let's see, I'm just going up to, let's do 5 or 6. Let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rotate your paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rotate your paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rotate your paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have a nice graph here. We are going to assume that the vertex is 0, 0. The A value is 1 if there's nothing on the front. I'm going to place it over 1. I'm going to go from the center, from the origin, I'm going to go up 1 to the right 1. I'm going to continue on. And inverse. That is my first one, and I should have done it in red. So let me go back in. place it in red so we can actually see it. We can actually compare. Now, let's work on the other problem. We have negative 7 over 5. The fact is negative, I don't want to graph it down because it's not going to help me compare. I'm going to assume that's positive. I'm going to go up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and to the right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that one narrower? As you guys can see, that one is narrower. So we have letter A. Let me compare the other one so you guys can see. 3 over 5, I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to the left, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice that that one is wider. So that one's wider. The last one has a coefficient of 1, a value of 1. So actually that one will be the same. Question number 15. Question number 15. Which point is the solution to the inequality? Now the only way to find out which point is the solution, we just need to be able to plug it in. Now of course you can always graph it and then see which of those points is shaded. That's one way of doing it. If you want to do that, you can do that as well. Or we can just plug in each of those points, the value of x and y, into the inequality. And it's nice to be able to label it, so you can always go back. Instead of the y, you can plug in a 6. Instead of the x will be a 2. 6 is less than or equal to 4 minus 1. Is 6 less than or equal to 3? No. Is this true or false? Is 6 less than or equal to 3? No. If not, think about it. Is the alligator eating the bigger number? No. Let's try letter B. Instead of the y will be a 1. Instead of the x will be a negative 1. Is 1 less or equal to negative 2 minus 1? Is 1 less or equal to negative 3? No. Let's try letter C. Instead of the y will be a negative 2, less than or equal to, instead of the x will be a negative 3. Negative 2 less than or equal to negative 6 minus 1 is negative 2 less or equal to negative 7. Now if you're not sure, if you have a number line, this is 0, this is negative 2, negative 7 is to the left. The numbers that are bigger are to the right. So negative 2 is not less than, it's bigger than. So that'll be no. Letter D. Remember, you want to be able to show me all the work, so just in case this one's also no, you can go back and say, okay, what did I do wrong? Instead of the x will be, instead of the y will be a 0, instead of the x will be a 3. Is 0 less or equal to 6 minus 1? Is 0 less or equal to 5? Yes. So the answer will be D. Let's continue with number 16. Which of the following most accurately describes the translation? Remember, translation means the movement. I'm looking from the movement of the vertex from one to the other. So let's go and make another graph just like we did above. And if you notice, we're going to need 6 because that's the biggest number. Your x-axis, your y-axis, and then we're just going to do our coordinate. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to your paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to your paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One last. Go to your paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here we have a nice little graph. Now, the first vertex, remember your h is the opposite. So this will be positive 5 and negative 6. Your h station, your k stays the same. H the opposite, k is the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be negative 4 and positive 2. H is the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. We're looking from the movement from the first one to the second one. That means I'm going to go up and to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So up 8. And to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Left. So your answer will be A. Now let's work on the last problem. Number 17. I know you guys have it on the bottom of your page. Which of the following sentences is true? So we're looking for a true statement about the following graphs. And they give you two absolute value graphs. And if you guys can get rid of that little 2, that should not be there. It says the graphs have different shapes. So do they have different shapes and different vertices? Now, whenever they say shape, they're talking about whether it's wider or narrow. So are they both, is one of them wider than the other one? We're looking at the A value. A value will determine whether it's wider or narrow. They have different numbers, negative 6 and negative 5, so yes, they do have different shapes. Do they have different vertices? Let's check the vertex. Vertex for this one is 2, negative 3. Vertex for this one is positive 2, negative 3. So no, they have the same vertex. Letter B. One graph has a vertex that's a maximum, and the other one has a vertex that's a minimum. So let's look whether the vertex is maximum or minimum. This is a negative A value, so that means that the graph will be facing down. Is the vertex the maximum or the minimum? That is the maximum. This one's facing down as well, so the vertex will be the maximum. So no, that one's maximum, but this one, both maximums. Let us see, the vertices are maximums. That's true, they both are maximum. Let's look at the last option. The graphs have the same shape. Do you have the same shape? No, they have different shapes. Do you have different vertices? No, they have the same vertex. Remember, the shape is talking about whether it's wider or narrow. So this will conclude the chapter review. Remember that this is your first chapter test. You want to make sure that you review each of the problems so all of you guys can start with an A+. And I know that all of you guys are capable of getting an A+ in my class. Have a great day, and please email me if you have any questions. Thanks.